But yeah, I would have had no idea in 2008 how to walk in and be, a young soldier.
Because you were wearing camouflage culottes.
Yeah.
But you know what? What's funny is I remember them saying they don't want any known actors. They're trying to cast all. So maybe that's what he was saying.
I was already in my 40s by that.
That's
point.
not what he was saying.
No, he was saying that
they
you
was
were just
too will.
Just saying
Did you guys ever deal with and by the way, I mean these I can understand why the podcast is doing well. It has to do well. Your podcast, eating out with Eric and Steve, because. I mean, it's just like, this is the easiest. How easy is this? I mean, usually it's like sometimes pulling teeth, or sometimes you got to and you guys just bam off each other. And it's nice to see that. So it's exciting. I'm definitely going to tune in.
Hurrah!
Yeah, for
What's
sure.
your question?
The question is, look, get to the question. We know
Hurry
we're
up,
good.
let's go.
Do you guys ever in your life, obviously, but people, I talk about mental health a lot, but dealing with depression, anxiety, and this career that we've chosen can certainly bring you way down. Have you been that far down where you're like, I'm done with this. I can't do it anymore. I'm going to move away. I've had those feelings where I just want to get away. Were you ever that low or thought, who am I?
For me, honestly, right before that pilot that I was just describing was my lowest, and it wasn't oh my god, I'm dead in this business, I want to get out of it, but there was the fear that perhaps I'd had my run, for sure, because I just finished another show for TNT, and I think that's it. I think I've used up all of my good luck, and it was it was the lowest I've been for sure for about a month.
So it was just a month though, but you didn't have
no, it wasn't a long time, luckily, but it was certainly a major period of self-doubt.
I had a period of several years where things were definitely had crested for me, and I had not given thought to any future. And indeed, it highlighted the fact that I hadn't given a lot of thought to a lot of things that I'd done in my life, either professionally or personally, in the years leading up to this. And it became apparent in the kind of jobs that I was getting, the kind of jobs that I wanted but wasn't getting, until several years after after I began feeling this, I felt like I was Bela Lugosi in 1956, like in Mexico, doing Aztec mummy meets blah blah blah.
That's a good one.
I thought, what the fuck am I doing here? What's happening to me? And it began a kind of a personal journey, without getting into that, of trying to kind of take stock and change my ways and live with intention. And the moment I started living with intention, it's very vague to say, but things started happening to me professionally, which were better, which were, I feel like, the result of whatever energy I was putting out. But so much of my self-esteem had been tied up in the affirmation that I received as an actor, as a celebrity. And I had not thought that through, how shallow that is, how superficial ultimately that is. And because when that goes away, then that went my sense of meaning left with me, and and the me that I was left with was underdeveloped, and so then began a kind of a years long journey to find out who the fuck I was, and once I found that out, to improve upon it, to fix myself, to make myself better. Not that I was a bad person by any means, but I'd forgotten what it was that I loved about being an actor, apart from the attention it gave me.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I've talked about this a little bit, but for me, I never got the attention. I never got the love, the unconditional. I didn't have any of that. So for me, it was only applause. It was only "you're great." It's only the next thing. And my agent, or not my agent, my therapist, same thing. But my therapist used to say, it's like a colander, it's not sustainable. It's like, it just goes in and it's gone.
Yeah.
Not like, real love, not like real something that you can feel. And so it's really taken me a long time through therapy and things to start to realize, going back, trying to find out who you are, how to love that little guy that was lost.
It's huge.
And become, more of an adult, someone who can really, so kind of, it was more difficult, but did you guys get the love and all that stuff with your families?
Oh yeah, I mean, my family was.
Steven's kind of looking up
Yeah.
to the sky.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting question. I mean,
Yeah, no, it is, because I think it goes to everything that actors can be. That we were desperate for attention, sometimes because there was none at home. There was definitely lots of love at home for me. What wasn't necessarily at home was a sense that I was, like I say, it was very suburban. I didn't grow up in a pulsating fame city. I grew up, I had to find that side of myself, and I'd watch television through my childhood with my dad, whose sense of humor infused what I loved. But I had, the dreams came from in here. They were my own. They didn't come from my day-to-day life. But luckily my parents were loving enough to support it.
Wow. Steven's still thinking about
Well,
that.
I'm just trying to be cogent about it. I mean, because I definitely got love, but it's more than just receiving or being passive, or in getting that love. I hadn't, and it took me decades to learn that I had to actively participate in my own life. I had to have a purpose. I had to define myself. And as a young man, even with the good results I was getting as a young actor, making people laugh or getting jobs or whatever, and making my friends laugh and having a facsimile of a good life, there were some underpinnings that had been neglected in a way. And if you want to go back, I'm a huge fan of therapy. And over the years, I really went back very, very far and found the roots of a lot of behavior that kind of resurfaced later on. And I found that I had created kind of a schism between the affirmation I was getting as an actor and kind of my lack of purpose internally, emotionally, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And but I was able to, in fact, I'm not just saying this, with friends.
I was just going to ask that.
Well,
Were you
yeah.
helping?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that brought us together was kind of maybe an unconscious need to kind of connect, to connect and to create a family or a network that wasn't just fun and games and not just based on acting, but something that was emotional. Something that had emotional truth and clarity. And those are the types of things that I couldn't really talk about with my father, the type of role model, the male role modeling I needed, I wasn't supplied to me, not through any fault of his own. But I found later on. So what am I saying? What time is it?
I like this.
Next question.
This is
exactly
really
right.
This is really helpful.
It started, I mean, he and I knew each other 20 years ago, whatever, and we'd see each other occasionally, but it wasn't until we went out one night to Jar, I think it was.
Yeah.
And we just started talking about the deeper feelings, because he's hilarious.
Yeah.
And I would try to compete
I'm
and
hilarious.
everyone he is. But when we got past the hilarity to the fears and all that stuff, it was like, this is what I've always loved. And what leads to, probably you're the same way. It's what leads to a podcast is I really want to talk to you. I actually would like, yes, laughs would be great, but what's underneath the underneath is always interesting.